Good morning. Welcome to Good Morning Meditation. It is the start of the week, and there's no better time to meditate than here, beginning the week with some good old meditation. It is session 120. We've arrived at this time on the 20th of July, 2020. A lot of 20s today, aren't there? 2020. Mad dog. 2020. We've almost completed 4 months of meditation, which is approximately a third of a year. We're just getting started, appreciating the power of the mind, positive thinking. I went to deliver a parcel a few days ago to America, the US of A, the glorious United States of America. And I asked them, how long is it going to take to get this parcel over to US? And they said, well, 5 days, but it seems to be taking a lot longer at the moment to send parcels overseas. And I said, oh, I sent a parcel to Belgium not so long ago, and it took 2 working days. And the lady behind the counter started laughing joyfully and said, yes. Humans have a tendency to only tell you about things when they don't go well. So we tend to only get customers talk about and tell us about the things that are delayed. Whereas when something isn't delayed, or something goes well, or quicker than expected, we don't tend to hear about that. So generally, the news that we get is when things go wrong. And this is one of the unusual traits and characteristics often of human interaction and feedback loops that often, unfortunately, are tinged by negativity. We potentially speak up when something's gone wrong, but a lot of the time things aren't going wrong. We don't tend to speak up about that. And this is an essential positive and negative way of looking at the world. And we always have a choice, positive or negative. So this is a starting point, really, for training our mind in being happy on a day-to-day basis. It's a method to keep the mind happy, to have positive thinking, to start the day with positive mental attitude, and then to look at things in a positive way. Straightforward enough, although not all the time necessarily easy to practice. It's relatively straightforward enough to understand how we can keep a positive outlook towards ourselves, towards what is happening, and how we can start to transform the way we relate to what is happening in our life. Even when, from a worldly perspective, things aren't going according to plan. When things from a worldly perspective, maybe we don't get what we want. Yeah? Or we apply for something and we don't get it. Or we're separated from a relationship. We lose money. Many times during the day, we can encounter situations we don't want. We can relate to those in a positive way, if possible. Try to transform those situations. Try to turn them around. And from a spiritual perspective, whether something is a success or not depends upon whether we've kept a peaceful mind, not whether society is telling us that we're a success. Failure isn't losing something from a worldly perspective. Failure, well, is not maintaining a peaceful mind. But on a deeper level, when we respond to something in a positive way, that's one step. So we've looked at this. So we've been just a minor annoyance. Our internet stops, and instead of getting frustrated and agitated, we think, oh, this is my opportunity to develop patience. This is my opportunity to develop a calm mind and pause. That's one step. And we can stop there if we wanted to. But what is more interesting and to develop wisdom and insight is then to look at that mind that is positive. The awareness of that mind that is positive, the knowing element of that is, and then to also look at the mind that is negative, that potentially responded with negativity. To try and gain some insight into the actual nature of the mind. One way to turn our mind around, like for example, the mind becomes negative. A clumsy approach would be to quickly try and make it positive. Yeah. Quickly do, oh, I shouldn't be feeling negative. Oh. Yeah. But a more insightful approach is to, when the mind becomes negative, which is just some impure wind flying around our body, we look at the mind. And this is the insight element. We look at the mind that is negative. Become aware of that. As we've been doing in the meditations, quietly observing that mind. That naturally pacifies the negative. Because the mind starts, the whole energetic system in our body starts to alter. And then arising out of that, we can then respond in an appropriate way that will keep our mind peaceful and happy and blissful. Responding in a negative way doesn't keep the mind peaceful, blissful and happy. It has no benefit to anything. And it's just a habit. But the insight element, which comes from meditation, is looking at that negative mind, looking at it, going into it, and then, in a sense, dissolving it in the same way we do in meditation. So we're sitting in meditation, and thoughts are arising. We say they're like clouds. That's one analogy. And instead of, pushing them away or getting entangled in them, we just see them for what they are. Look at them, and we just look quietly at them, dissolve away. Blissful, beautiful process. The more we can get used to doing this in meditation, the more we can get used to doing it outside. And we don't get caught up in these sort of ethical dilemmas, being a goody-goody, taking pride in being positive, and because we're going deeper than that. Let's give it a go. Once again, beginning by watching our mind, watching the activity of the mind. And starting to focus on the natural breath. Gathering our attention into the heart center and cultivating our good heart towards all living beings. An open heart, how wonderful. If all living beings to be free from our suffering. And we try to include as many people as possible in our intention for meditation. My body, like a mountain, immovable, still. Everything has stopped, slowed down. I'm seeing the world from a different perspective now. No race, competition, My breath is the wind, that constant flow, cooling the mind. It starts to slow down and deepen. And when the wind slows, all the movement in the world slows down. And my mind, my root mind, the sky, whether the mind is negative or positive, its nature is always clear, luminous, spacious, cognizing. We try to connect with this sky-like nature, which has no boundary, obstruction, division. There's no left or right, up or down, just vast space. And our thoughts are not to be feared or battled with. They're just arising and dissolving in the same way clouds form and dissolve. And we quietly gaze at the mind and abide in this blissful space for as long as we can. letting go of the past and the future and the analysis. Not trying to work anything out, make anything happen. We just rest in the vast space of our mind. We remember countless living beings and dedicate the good energy from our group meditation for their health and happiness. May they find peace, calm, and fearlessness. May we take insight from meditation into the week ahead. Thank you very much. When you're ready, please bring your session to a close. And open your eyes. So I wish you a insightful week ahead, and I'll be here this evening, 7:30 GMT time, for the next meditation.